Defense officials here in Jerusalem are denying a British report that the Mossad has increased its presence in London following the terrorist attack in Bulgaria that left 5 Israelis dead. Using unnamed sources in Tel Aviv, a story in the Sunday Times alleges that Israel has put additional undercover intelligence agents on the ground before the opening of the Olympic Games out of fear that Hezbollah or Iran may stage another attack, this time against Israeli athletes. Is the suicide bombing in Bulgaria a prelude to a much bigger terrorist attack in London? That's the question Israeli officials are now asking. Finding the answer grew more urgent over the weekend when evidence led Israeli officials to conclude a second Hezbollah-affiliated terrorist helped the suicide bus bomber. It's believed he fled Bulgaria with significant amounts of explosives. Could London be his next stop? According to the Sunday Times, the second terrorist is using a U.S. passport with the name David Jefferson. The British paper says the Mossad is already scouting for him in London. Newly dispatched undercover agents are reportedly also looking for other suspected Iranian-backed terrorists intent on foiling any nefarious plans. Some have even been sent to survey Iranian embassies in other European capitals. Israeli Defense Ministry Official Maj-Gen Amos Gilad dismissed the British report, saying intelligence services do not operate by dispatching agents to, quote, chase down ghosts. He said there are no concrete threats of an attack during the Olympics. Defense Minister Ehud Barak said only that Israel is working with British and other Western intelligence agencies to prevent any problems at the Games, adding vigilance is required. Despite the official denials, most counterterrorism experts believe Israel has indeed kicked up its intelligence and operational security measures in London in the wake of the deadly Bulgaria attack. Israel is fighting what it says is an Iranian campaign of global terror. Officials say they have foiled at least 20 attacks in the last year, from Thailand to Kenya. As more evidence mounts, the U.S. and other Western powers now also see a pattern of Iranian terror emerging. London's Olympic Park or one of the other 26 venues would be headline-grabbing places for Iran to strike at Israel and, by extension, the West. History may also encourage an attack this year. It's the 40th anniversary of what has become known as the 1972 Olympic Munich massacre. Breaking into the living quarters of the Israeli athletes, Palestinian terrorists killed 2 athletes and kidnapped 9 others, who later died in a botched German rescue mission. Britain is well aware of the security risk. The head of the MI5, the Domestic Security Service, says a whopping $1 billion has been invested in securing the Olympic Games. Nearly 30,000 police officers, troops, and private security guards will be looking for anything suspicious. Most of the Israeli Olympic delegation, which includes 38 athletes and their coaches, are already in London. In a telling sign of how tight security is, none of the Israelis will be housed in buildings with other international athletes. Instead, the Israelis will have their own separate, tightly guarded complex within the Olympic Village, we're told, with rings of security guards and surveillance technology. Ephraim Zinger, who's the head of the delegation, says the athletes are receiving special security attention and that their living quarters are safe. Jordana Miller, JN1, Jerusalem.